In this video, we're focusing on the values here, and as you can see here, if this is a negative value, it will stay within here, and once we hit 0, this is value 2 and this is 0 line here, then we start to draw the grid line one by one. So let's start to look how we can do this. So to do this, the first thing what we need is our boiler template, which you can find here on chartjs3.com getting started. Once you're on here, copy this chunk of code and you're good to go. Next, if you want to get the source code of this video or many others, check out my Patreon page, and of course, join the Discord channel. All the links are in the description box. So first, we're going to convert this into a polar area chart. So we say here, polar area, save, refresh. There we are. Let's remove these Y scale, because we are going to work with the R scale. However, I don't want to start at 0, or maybe we can begin at 0. Alright, but we want to have a minimum value as well. Let's see if this works. Let's say minimum is -4. Make sure we have a comma, that's why it gives it an error. And if we do this, maybe that will work. Alright, but can we get the step size fixed? Let's see if we can do that. So we're going to say comma, because what I really want is I want to see everything on 0 onwards or beyond, and then always 1, 1, 1. So a step size of 1. So we go into the grid. And in the grid object, we're going to say step size is 1. We're going to have it 1 at a time. This doesn't work because the value is too high that Chart.js is recalculating it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this. Let's say here -3, 2, and then here 6. If I save this, refresh. Alright. As we do this, we say begin at 0, but the minimum value is -3 here, or what is the minimum value? Well, let's see, minimum value is 0. If we do this, what will happen? It will just cut away the item. So I don't want that. So what I need to do here is remove this. We don't need this one. Begin at 0, it has no value. Or min value will be -3. Let's say that was, I think that was the request, comma here. There we are. But I want to remove these items, and let's remove the tooltip. The tooltip are distracting us. We're going to say here plugins, and then we're going to say here tooltip, and then we're going to say here display, not display, sorry, enabled equals false. Let's do legend as well. I was having the legend in my head, so that's display equals false. Save that, comma here, save, refresh. There we are. Let's remove now these grid lines that are not related to, or everything of 0 and beyond should be visible. So to do this, I'm going to say here enter, and then I'm going to draw my own ticks. We're going to use a special built-in functionality of Chart.js, which is the after tick to label conversion. And this here allows us to convert the labels into whatever we want. And what we really want to do here is to first see what is in the CTX. Comma here, save, refresh. Open up developer tab, and you can see here we get the information of the ticks. Now you can see here the value. So what we could do is a very simple push value, because this array here is nice, but I want to remove all of those here that are not related. So what I'm going to do is just going to create a new array that pushes 0 all the way to 6, and that's it. And the others I will ignore. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say constant tick array equals that. Oh, this, and then what I'm going to say here, ctx.ticks, and then we say for each. We're going to loop through each of these items and say tick, comma, index, function error expression. And then what I want to do here is loop through this one. I will say here if the tick.value, which is basically this one here, is larger or equal to -1, then we're going to draw something. You might say, why are we doing this? Equal, I'll show you later on. Let's remove it, and then you will understand exactly why. So then what I'm going to say here, I'm going to say tick array, and we push the value. What I'm going to push is basically the entire tick object that we have. I want to maintain this. I just want to push that in here. Push that in here, and then this new ticks here, once we did this, we're going to say this will be equal to the new array. There we are. And once we did this, we can save that, refresh. As you can see here, it is now starting at 1 instead of 0. For some reason, we need to have this or equal to -1. Then we get the 0. Alright, now we've got that. That looks beautiful. So once we have this, what would be nice as well as having the, instead of a tooltip, having the text here on the side, and maybe even hide these items here. So let's hide the tick numbers, so the labels. Let's do that one. Comma, we say ticks, and in the ticks here, we're going to say display equals false. Save, refresh. There we are. Now we remove the numbers. Let's put in the label names here outside. So what I'm going to do here is to say, comma, I'm going to say point labels, and then the point labels will say display will be equal to true. Save, refresh. There we are. That looks nice, but now I want to move it to the center. So we say center point labels true, save, refresh. There we are. We could say font size as well. Font size. I think 18. It's like that, if I'm not mistaken. No, then it would be probably font 18, or else there we are, font 18, and we could do anything else. Maybe 22. Is it really responding? I couldn't see it. Let's do this 50. No. Alright, so font size. There we are. That's it. I need to just go deep into the font, and we could say here bold even as well. Weight equals bold. There we are. That looks quite nice. So we have now one of these options here. What we could do as well as making lines here. That's one of the requests. And that will be in the next video. We're going to focus on these lines.